See this episode's show notes for our unique promo code to get up to 2 months of free podcasting service with Libsyn when you sign up for a new account. Get your show on Apple and Spotify, get helpful stats, and all the support you need to sound your very best.
This is Jed MacKay, and you're listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast.
Welcome back, Looney listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. You are with both of your high priests of Khonshu, Rebecca. Hello.
Hi.
Long time no. Yeah.
We've literally gone the whole issue to issue. I've been very busy. Ray's possibly not been quite as busy, but also busy.
But you've been busy, yeah.
So I kind of disappeared for a few weeks from everyone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, I'd like to. I asked you a little bit just before we started the show, but I'd love to get into what you experienced, Rebecca. It looked all really cool on social media. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I was at Star Wars Celebration for a week. Well, for 4 days. And before that I was sick. So I was kind of like offline a lot, and then had this kind of crazy Star Wars injection. You see from the t-shirt. You can't see from the t-shirt, but it's a Star Wars t-shirt. So.
Oh, yes.
That's B2 emo, my latest tattoo. So
yes. Look, for those that this is live streamed as well. Oh, I forgot. I should have probably put that on there. This is live streamed. So Loonies, if you are up early enough, if you're in the US, you can catch it. Otherwise, this will be available a bit later on the YouTube. I hear a lot of people, Rebecca, say the YouTube. Is that really wrong?
I have no idea. I put some videos up on YouTube for the first time in decades because I couldn't fit them anywhere else from Star Wars Celebration. So like, if you sneakily manage to find my YouTube, there's some Star Wars videos there now.
I did see actually some popped up. I think on Facebook or something.
I think I had to post one on Facebook because there wasn't room for anywhere else. So I just the videos were just too big for anything. So
I know there has to be some loonies out there that are huge Star Wars fans as well.
Well, if you want to see like some very fun pre-visualization sequences from Return of the Jedi,
I saw
using action figures.
Yeah, was that a real thing? Like, did they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
They said they had the guys who did it, and they were like, "This is how we did it. We've been given permission to show you it," and then they showed you what previs looks like for Mandalorian, so you could see how the difference is from 40 years of the Return of the Jedi. It was like one of the only panels they were like, just video whatever you want, do whatever you want.
What?
But I was just saying, as I was saying to Ray beforehand, just gotta get myself in practice for San Diego.
Yes.
So get back used to these mad cons where all you do is queue all day.
Yeah, a bit of
then queue and then queue again.
Wow, that's what I was going to ask you about the queuing. Like, how was that? Was that kind of manageable?
It was, like everyone's very friendly. Yeah, well, actually, wasn't too bad. The first day was pretty awful getting in.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got better each day, and I kind of knew more what I wanted to do and where things were.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't try and do everything. I sort of paced myself.
Yeah,
did manage to get some of the things that I wanted to get done, and did some shopping.
There's no point in
not much because everything was very expensive. Everything has a massive. Didn't do any autographs or photographs because very expensive.
Well, Rebecca, you got to save the pennies for San Diego for that, right?
I'm not going to be doing them. I don't pay for photos and autographs anyway. But yeah, I mean, who knows?
I mean, but like artwork. I mean, I'm sure they have artist galleries and stuff that.
They had a beautiful art gallery actually, and you could pick up some really nice prints for about £50, like limited edition ones. And I was tempted, but I kind of forgot to take a poster tube or a thing, and couldn't bother to buy another one because I keep collecting them at every con I go to. So I did get some nice free ones.
Right.
Like I got I got a couple of rubbish-free ones that then got used as the outside packaging for the nice free ones.
Nice.
So I got a nice Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary one,
Oh.
and some really nice Mando and Grogu little
Oh
prints.
yeah, of course. And I see
Yeah.
Mario's here. Hi Mario, always good to hear from you. Mario is a Star Wars fan as well.
I mean, I'd be surprised if we didn't have Star Wars fans. I mean, like, I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm not like the world's greatest Star Wars fan,
Mhm.
but it was really nice to everyone was very friendly there.
Mhm.
Which isn't always the case at cons. So
Yeah.
that was nice, especially not in England where we're all a bit standoffish.
Really?
We're not really.
I
We actually are generally quite friendly, but
Oh, okay, okay. No, I was about to say I was about to disparage my own city, Rebecca, and say that. But I'm thinking more of the music scene. In comic conventions and stuff. Generally, people are pretty friendly. So that's
yeah. And I mean, the first day I didn't really speak to anyone, but I was with my sister and she was very stressed.
yeah.
But then after that, we kind of kind
Mm.
of chilled.
We, which by the way, you did mention your sister. I mean, we've been talking about potentially asking her because of her, what she knows about like mental health and stuff. We should,
Yeah,
get her. Would she be
yeah.
amenable to come on the show or?
Yeah, she would. It's a case of finding a time for her. She's extraordinarily busy. Hi, Noel. It's extraordinarily
No.
busy, and so it's finding a time
Yeah.
for her to.
Ah, fair
I
enough.
wish I could add a. Oh, I can add a comment, can I? I could just have to go to our Facebook
Yeah.
feed.
Rebecca's gonna add a comment to yourself.
No, I'm going to post my T-shirt so
Oh
people can see
yeah,
how
yeah,
great
yeah,
it
yeah, for
really
sure.
is.
Yeah, as I said, Loonies, get on the social media, into our Facebook group and page. Check it out, check it all out. Rebecca's got some cool merch. Speaking of merch, actually, before we've even actually started, Rebecca, we are doing, of course, it's going to be a moonshine today. The next issue from Volume 9, Issue 22, from Jed MacKay, Alessandro Cappuccio. Very exciting indeed. Rebecca, I've been plugging the holes in between at the moon, the phases of the moon. We have here we go. Yes, Rebecca does. She certainly does. Howard the Duck. Thanks, Noel. Yeah, I've totally lost my train of thought. But anyway, there you go. Noel always does that to me, eh? Hope you're well, Noel. It's been a while. Oh no,
That's my
that's
comment.
you.
I
Oh
got.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll leave that. Anyway, yeah. So very excited. The last previous episodes, Rebecca. Funnily enough, have been very Moon Knight obscure. I did a last episode. I think it's one panel appearance of Moon Knight in a Superior
Yeah, that was
Spider-Man.
awesome. That was awesome.
And the one before that was a really a good eye opener. It was a Doug Mensch Toxic Avenger issue. So no Moon Knight,
Yeah,
but Doug Mensch. So that's
interesting though.
yeah. But fear not, Loonies, as I mentioned last week or a few days ago. Now this is 100% unadulterated Moon Knight. We've got the new issue, so that's it's looking good. As of course, a big thank you to all our patronies, everyone that helps keep the show running, and our principal sponsors: Odin Sword, Frank the Think Tank, Mario, who we already heard from this morning, Drew Toombs, and Daniel Doing, and sponsors CLZ Comics and Dreamland Comics from Schoenberg, Illinois. Rebecca, by way of white noise, look, there's
Yes.
not much really going
There's
on.
not a lot. We can't think of any news, guys. WonderCon's been and gone.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of
I don't think anything C2E2. Lots of
no.
nice art that people have been posting.
Yes, beautiful
So
art as well.
yeah.
But nothing. We're still kind of waiting for. I don't know. I'm hoping for more merch, Rebecca. I don't know what. But did you end up getting those
Oh,
earrings?
I
Did
did.
you? Awesome.
No, I
Oh,
did. Yes, I did get the earrings.
yeah.
Got the earrings and necklace,
Nice.
and I did get the Towerette Funko.
Yeah, I've still got to
So
get that. It's available here. I mean, for Australian
it
listeners.
was really. It was very frustrating.
Mhm.
I bought it the minute it went up. Well, I didn't realize when it was going on Funko Europe, so I sort of toddled along. I was just been checking it every couple of days.
Mhm.
Went along. It was up there. Bought it. Super expensive with shipping, because it's Funko Europe, right?
Mhm.
and then everyone go offline and find out everyone's complaining that everything's sold out and it only gone online that afternoon. So people not being able to get the lounge fly bag and that.
Right.
Then a week later, I'm having a meeting with my boss over Zoom, and she was like, "Oh, did you see Smiths have got the Towerette Funko for like 13 quid?"
No.
And I was like, "No, but I'm very angry that I spent a lot more than that on it, and I could have just." Smiths, by the way, is a toy shop here
Yeah.
that is a 15-minute walk from my house.
Oh no. Oh
So
gosh.
yeah, so I feel a bit stupid that I spent more money, but like because they were so, oh, there's only 3,000 of them,
Mhm.
and I really want, since I'd never been able to get the big con shoe,
Mhm.
I wanted my little line of gods to be completed. So
Yeah. Yeah, and certainly, Tower it looks really cool. I've got it. I mean, it's available here at Zing or Pop Culture for any Australian um, loonies looking in, wanting to get it. One thing that Orion from the Discord did say though, he was a little bit upset that like we got the big Khonshu, but we should have got all the deities probably equally sized. I don't know. What do you think about that,
it would
Rebecca?
have been nice.
Mm,
I mean, who knows? Look, we've got other cons coming up this summer.
yeah.
Where Funk has a presence. I don't know. I mean, I have a feel. I mean, it feels like Moon Knight's too far away now, but then
Mm.
I wouldn't have thought we'd got Tower at now.
That's true. I mean, it was
You know,
a bit
so
random.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it can be random and
Mm.
nights. And now we never know when you're going to get like chase figures
Mhm.
and other stuff. And I guess like Marvel will have gear as well, so
Yeah.
they'll have the pin badges for swapping sometimes.
Yep.
I don't know, but like you know, until the con season is over,
Yes.
there's always a possibility of more random. And when I say random, I mean merchandise that isn't tied to any specific,
Mhm.
like, oh, there's a new show, or
Yeah.
he's appearing in this film, or just as in random merchandise. So,
Actually, Rebecca, you just remind me. Then I read about it. I think, oh geez, weeks ago, maybe months ago. I don't know if it's out yet, but I don't even kind of remember if we mentioned it. But Figpin are releasing
hmm.
another Moon Knight. So they released
Oh,
one.
are they?
Yeah. So they released the
Yeah, I
Fist Khonshu
remember.
one, yeah, before, which I missed out on. But they're releasing another one. I can't for the life of me
They don't
remember.
ship. Do they? Are they the ones that don't ship abroad, or?
Yeah, you have to find, I guess, collectible shops or something locally that
Hmm.
may import them in. That's the best bet for me, at least. Yeah,
Oh yeah, Disney theme park Moon Knight.
yeah, right. Yeah? Did you check it out? Like,
I'm just having a look.
okay.
There's that you can only buy. You can only buy at Disney theme parks.
What is this, the fig pin? Oh,
Yeah, there is a fig pin that you can only buy
okay.
in Disney theme parks.
Well, any loonies that
I
live
will.
near Disney theme
Well,
parks.
well, here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Guess who's potentially
Oh.
going to a Disney theme park this summer?
Oh, awesome. The Khonshu could not have aligned this better, Rebecca.
Um, geez, if I go, I'm guessing I'm buying a bunch of them, right?
I'll throw a whole heap of money at you, Rebecca, if you if you can get somewhere for sure. Wow.
All right,
Okay.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can. I mean, like, it's currently a very tentative plan because
Hmm.
we only have one free day.
Yeah. Okay. No, you don't want to. Yeah, for sure. You don't want to
Well,
chock a block
my friend
everything.
is very keen that we do,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm like, maybe we want to chill out a bit
Yeah.
instead of spend more money. But it would be the only chance I potentially get to go to
Mm.
the California parks. So I don't know. It's a possibility.
Possible.
No
Yeah. Yeah.
promises.
Exactly. It could be something that you
Don't
play by
do
ear.
not send in your shopping lists.
Noel,
I promise
Mario,
everyone if I see the fig
send them
pin, I
in.
will buy a bunch. Ray will offer them as prizes for
Yeah. Oh god. Oh
Patreons
jeez.
and stuff.
Yes, I do. I certainly do. Especially at least to the Patronis who I have promised something. I have yet to deliver. I've got to do that for sure. Um, yeah. So really, not much by way of news, but just a little smattering there. Uh, Rebecca, do you want to? Shall we get into a bit
Let's
of
do
a
it.
Shane? Yes. So, as mentioned, Rebecca and I will be looking at. I know you are chomping at the bits, Rebecca, for this issue to
Can't
talk about.
wait. I'm very excited about this issue.
Moon Knight Volume 9 issue. Volume 9 issue 22. It's titled Instinct. Release date April the 12th, 2023. Cover date June 2023. And we have writers, of course, Jed MacKay, penciler and inker Alessandro Cappuccio, colorist Rachelle Rosenberg, letterer VC's Cory, Petit, and editor Tom Brevoort. Rebecca, before we get into... Oh, it's available on floppy format or on digital. You can buy it at the Marvel store or the Comixology store. Before we get into the bare bones and all that, Rebecca, I'm just going to shove up onto the screen. So we have some covers. Let me just
Lovely.
you can see this here. So the regular cover by Stephen Segovia. Oh gosh, Rebecca, is it a PH for Stephen? I don't know.
No, I
Is it?
don't know
Is it?
actually.
Yeah. Anyway,
I don't know.
sorry, Stephen.
I think it might be 2 L's
Oh,
for
but
Rachelle.
Rachelle, what have I done? Anyway, Rachelle, sorry, I Rachelle double two L's. At regular cover. Let's focus on the visuals. Midnight Man in the background, looking quite ominous. It actually reminded me, Rebecca, of a few of the other, or at least one other cover, which had Zodiac on it.
It's a fairly standard comics type cover.
Yeah.
I mean, as and Tigra's missing her stripes.
Yeah,
you know,
very interesting. Yeah, I didn't.
it's pretty cool. Like, I mean, I really like it. I like the orange color in the background.
Yep.
Sort of like playing off her coloring and
I like a costume as well.
illuminating the Moon Knight.
Mhm.
Actually makes the Moon Knight title look a little bit like a moon,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
kind of funky.
And I do like how both Tigra and Midnight Man have their own fonts. Like you got the Tigra, similar
Yeah,
to from what
yeah,
I remember her. She's had a few mini series.
yeah. They'll have got it from there.
Mm,
So, and yeah,
so yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We're all excited to see Midnight Man there, right?
Mm-hmm.
After Mario's predictions.
Yeah. So we got to call
Let's see
that.
Mario get a little tick here.
Yes, we got to point that out. Of course, yeah, Mario, you've done well.
Yeah.
Called it, and it was coming. We knew it from the preview from last issue.
Yeah,
As
I mean,
well.
we knew it was coming, but just knowing it's coming,
Yeah,
not quite the same as it actually happening, because
exactly.
we know what comics are like.
Exactly. Now a few variants here. Tom Riley. I like this one, Rebecca. It's nice and simple.
I
Um,
find it a weird pose. I like it, like,
okay.
I
Yeah, I see what
like
you
the
mean.
colors,
Mm-hmm.
but if I look at it too much, I like it less,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Because of him like crouched and kind of hunched over, and
Yeah, some of
the cape
the way the
looking.
cape fits in, I
Yeah.
think is, like, a little bit messy for me.
Mm,
Like, I want it all there and maybe turned a bit to the side,
yeah.
but, you know,
I'm
I I think it's really interesting having that kind of blue.
I'm really drawn in
Um,
by the color. Yeah, the blue and the smattering of
yeah, I really
red.
like the color. I just
Mm.
think there's something about the actual layout that doesn't quite do it for me.
Well, it kind of looks like if you take away the body, it just looks like a little insignia of Moon Knight in a moon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's good. I think this is a regular cover as well, so it's not an incentive. We also have
Ooh,
a timeless variant.
a little bit scary.
So for those with the
You already
visuals,
know my feeling. I don't like covers that don't have the
yes.
characters
So just for
any relation to it at all.
exactly. So for podcast
But it's a good bit of
listeners,
art by Alex Ross
Alex Ross,
of
yeah, Kingpin,
of
looking
Fist. Yeah.
quite ominous there with his cravat and his
I mean, I guess his tie pin is like moon shaped at least.
yeah. Yeah,
But
tentative.
yeah.
Yeah. There is an incentive. Next one, it's a 1 to 100. It's a timeless
Oh,
sketch
oh,
variant. Yeah,
bit low key. Bit low
a
key.
little bit of
Still has
Loki.
nothing to do with the issue. 1 in 100. Oh my god. Whoever
Yeah,
bought that,
whoever gets that,
well done. But like,
exactly.
wow.
That's golden ticket, Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
That's and I think I don't want to reveal too. Oh yeah, I think that is it by way of covers. Um, so yeah, so Rebecca, we do have a bare bones written expertly
expertly by
myself.
the expert of summarizing.
Yeah, hopefully. Rebecca, would you be so kind as to give it a read and do it
Yeah.
justice, like as in make it polish it?
An old villain seemingly returns to cause havoc to the criminal underworld before turning his attention to its wealthy citizens. Tigra discusses the return of Midnight Man with Mr. Knight at her apartment, alongside her son William. Mr. Knight appears disinterested in Midnight Man's escapades, much to Tigra's surprise, and she says she takes it upon herself to hunt him down, but not before a viewing of the Goonies on VHS. Good choice. She touches base with Detective Flynn and also Hawkeye, and manages to track down a common thread between the robberies and a grisly event that occurred to each of the victims' parents. They were all slain by what appears to be a wild animal. That should be a little ding 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 for Moon Knight issues. Anyone who appears killed by a wild animal. Tigra ponders Mark's nonchalance at capturing his old nemesis, and it's not long before she leaps in for the kill after staking out Midnight Man at his final target. She works out who his final target is. Shockingly, the Midnight Man is revealed to be Mark himself. And he explains to Tigra that he's been trying to get his finances back to health by robbing from the rich and the criminally intentioned. Tigra is hurt of being lied to by Mark again, especially after all they've been through, and so she leaves him on the rooftop with Mark very aware of how cruel he's been to another person that he cares about. Later on, Mark returns to Tigra's apartment without his mask, in a symbol of wanting to be closer with her and wanting to be genuine. The issue ends with Tigra kissing Mark and clearly over the moon with what could be the start of a beautiful new relationship. And then Rebecca gets a big tick for her prediction, which I didn't make on air. You have to be part of the Discord family to have me cross-examining Ray about whether smooching was part of the predictions.
Yeah, but very much. We get that, and then there was a lead up to it with the preceding page. Of course, you could see it almost happening in slow motion.
I mean, the minute he turned up with that mask, you know it's going to happen, right?
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool touch, like taking the mask. You know, again, Jed sets it up really well.
Right from the very moment she entered, like the comic.
Yep.
We know that removing that mask, what that means to him, and that she's one of the people he will remove it for. But then after they fought, coming back vulnerable to him, like, and doing that is kind of. But even she says she's, her whole monologue is about how she sometimes acts on instinct, and that's her sort of cat side.
Yes.
And so, like, whether this will go anywhere or not, but
yeah,
we
we love him as well, and the fact that Jed has kind of set it up is pretty cool. I think, I just love that touch with the mask. You're absolutely right, Rebecca. Jed had set it up ever since issue 1 about the mask and how important it is to Mark. They've been through a lot. He's taken off the mask for Tigra on the rooftop. But here he reverts back to it. He's in their apartment at the very beginning. And in what should be a very kind of casual visit, a really relaxed visit, because he's hanging out with her essentially in William, he still has a mask on. So when you read it, you kind of like going, he's a bit kind of...
Yeah, like, why, Mark? Come on, why?
Yeah.
Especially, but so the other thing, I mean, we'll come back to this as a sort of overall about it, but the other thing I really appreciated about this is, like, so many comics have heroes get together, break up within, like, a panel. Iron Man. The last 2 runs of Iron Man, I should say, which I have very strong feelings about, that it's nice to be able to see it actually become part of the story. And whether they break up or not, how quickly they break up or not, this at least felt like it didn't come from nowhere. And I think that's important, like, to make it feel real. And, like, like, we all know next run, there's a huge chance that gets shaken up. But I'm very strong advocate that it should make sense in the run.
Yeah.
Like, and it shouldn't be something you overwrite in one panel.
Yes.
Like, oh, they broke up last week, like,
Yeah. Well, I have a very strong.
and then they're both dating someone else
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
Because it's I understand what happens because you
Mm,
always assume people will be starting with the number one,
mhm.
but I really appreciate that we've with this run, and I feel Jed's done it with setting up when he was setting up Zodiac, when he was setting up getting us to the tease of Scarlet, getting, I guess, bringing back Midnight Man. Like, no, but I mean, it's like hitting all the things we want to see, but then making them make
Yeah.
sense. Like, because we also have to accept that Mark isn't with Marlene, who, let's face it, is what we've seen for most of our comics reading.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, is that, and so, like, that's quite a jolt. That's like when you first see Misty not with Danny,
Mhm.
or like, I'd say Danny was someone else, but like he's not quite the same.
Yeah.
Um because none of his relationships last, they're very short, but like
Mm.
Misty's like very solidly going out with Sam now.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's like that shift, and it's like Mark's not always been going out with Marlene, but it's been this very solid thing.
Yeah.
So it feels like you have to make it believable,
Yeah.
unless you want it as a one night stand or something brief, like.
Yeah, but what makes it believable as well is that, he does have that history with Tigra, which I think is really,
Right,
really good.
right.
So,
Exactly. I mean,
yeah.
like, so there's a spark there.
Mm.
Then they're friends. That like all the things they've done from each other. But even within this run,
Mm.
so if you've never read it before, you feel that this is a deserved payoff,
Mhm.
and not just done for like, oh, let's just be romantic.
Yeah.
Like for once,
Look, yeah.
because it's a pretty good issue with the actual, like, it answers the question about the money as
Yeah,
well.
it does. Very good.
Which I feel a little bit. I'm a little bit. That's where I knocked it down a point.
Mhm.
Um,
Just is it
because
a bit dodgy
like.
for Mark to do? Like.
No, not really. I mean, absolutely the kind of Mark was a mercenary,
Mm.
right? So he killed people for money. Like, anything else he does for money is kind of whatever.
Mm.
Anything that isn't killing people is kind of better.
Yeah.
Um I guess I feel bad for Steven.
Mhm.
So like, why Steven wouldn't have been more sensible with their money. Not so that like some of it wasn't tied up in all the same place. Like, I'm not saying that, like, obviously, it was hacked and the money, but just that he wasn't a little bit more brilliant about ring fencing enough to keep the whole
Yeah.
thing going.
Well, yeah.
So I feel a little bit sad for him that he didn't get to shine in that way.
Yeah.
Um but no, this works perfectly, and it has the advantage of having the of being able to bring Midnight Man in and give us that little nod.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, it was a nice little kind of reveal.
yeah.
Depends on, I don't know, how the Loonies react to it as well. Whether it was a cool little twist or whether you really wanted to see Midnight Man.
Yeah, I
I
wondered
mean,
if people were annoyed about
mm,
it,
but it
because
specific.
it made
Yeah,
sense, like, we
it
know
did.
who's dead,
Y- Exactly. That's what I was about to say. It's specifically.
in the same way as
Yeah,
it kind of would have been hard to bring Scarlet back as she was
Mm,
alive
yeah.
and not do that whole thing
Yeah,
with her,
I mean,
so.
Mark points out, like, he did see both of them die. Like, it's gonna be
Mhm.
really weird unless this was, and they said it's a copycat, so unless it was someone else, like, along the.
Which is
Mm,
totally plausible, but it
yeah.
had to be that. That had to be the only other option,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And look, I think it was really interesting as well. I mean, we parallel it with, and I'm gonna throw to one of the other key moments, that chat with Tigra with Hawkeye. There's a small parallel between Hawkeye and I haven't read Freefall yet, Rebecca.
It's so
Yeah, I
good.
heard it is. Yeah.
Everyone read Freefall, it's so good.
But there was something that Hawkeye
Yeah,
did donning the Ronin suit, and it
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
like Mark has kinda done the same thing here with Midnight Man.
It's a very similar kind of thing,
Yeah,
yeah. He puts it on for a specific reason.
yeah.
I think it's quite nice that they bring Hawkeye into this
Mm,
because in Thunderbolts he rings Tigra
yep.
and says,
Ah,
like,
okay.
let's talk, how do you fancy getting the old gang back together?
Yeah,
So it kind of makes sense that without Mark, that would be somebody else she runs into who we know is doing stuff
yeah.
in New York on the streets. So
I've got to say as well, Jed MacKay has done a really great job in in tying continuity as well. So we have Hawkeye and Freefall. He mentions about the Thunderbolts, which he's more recently involved in.
Yeah.
Tigra has been part of the Defenders more recently,
Yeah.
with Javier Rodriguez, I think, was doing the art. I'm thinking he's
Yeah.
taking a stab. So it's really cool how it kind of, there's actually continuity and it ties in, and I think that's really considerate of Jed. But what I was about to say with this whole thing about Mark dressing up as Midnight Man, what I found interesting was, again, he skirts that line between, what it means to be a an upstanding hero. He does a little things on the side. Sure, he's got financial needs, but if you look at Tigra, she is struggling as well. She talks about her being on like a partial salary by the Avengers. She only gets VHSs because, well, it was something that she used to share with her mum, but she's not rich by any means.
Yeah.
I love the little exchange she has with William. They're talking about, because they're clearly renting, and she makes a little quip that, our clause, we've lost the bond. don't
Yeah.
worry,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Don't worry about it. We already lost the bond.
yeah,
Yeah.
because little William's worried about the nails in the wall or whatever. So, in a very subtle way, Jed is showing us that, she's not living in a lap of luxury. She's a superhero, but she's just working hard and trying to make her way through. Yet Mark does this. Like, he dresses up as Midnight Man, and he skirts the line of being a criminal, to get what he needs. So it doesn't paint him in a good light. But I like how they compare. Like, you get the comparison between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, definitely. And but like we know that he'd already do other things.
yeah.
Can also just say, like, while we're talking about it, the art, like,
Oh, I should
this is quite different for Cappuccio, I
I
think,
should
because, like,
throw it up. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
yeah, we don't have, like, in all the bits in her apartment and with William,
Yeah.
there's no action, there's no superhero costumes. I mean, yeah, obviously Tigra and William have sort of got the stripes and the red
Mhm.
hair and the, but he does a really good job on them.
It does. It
If you
actually.
think right at the beginning when we were talking about like his art being quite loose
Mhm.
and, like,
Oh, yeah.
and this is some real much more precise kind of stuff to get William and his expressions, and it really works very well.
I love how he draws William. Just he really does
Yeah,
draw him as a
it's
little kid.
beautiful.
The apartment reminded me a little bit of Charlie Cox's Daredevil, just because the
Well, I mean, I
yeah.
guess we're all believing that all New York apartments look a little bit the same, bit
Yeah,
of
yeah,
brick,
for sure.
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I totally understand. But yeah, fantastic again, Rachelle Rosenberg. I love
I
she's.
think also my favorite is where William is doing his handstands on the roof.
Oh, hey, William's doing. When's he doing that? Is that later
Yeah,
on? Oh,
go a couple more pages. A couple more. Next one. No,
oh,
next
oh
one.
yeah,
There.
yeah.
It's so cute.
It is very cool. Yeah,
It's so cute and catty.
he's very cute.
He's
Yeah,
got the balance. Yeah.
I love the I know Grizz always had it, the green eyes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just so beautiful the way Rachelle Rosenberg shows it. There was that close up when Tigra, in all her seriousness, says, "No, we're watching the Goonies." When it's either, I can't remember,
Yeah.
if the
Yeah.
Goonies or whatever. Yeah, she goes
Monster Squad or
Monster
something.
Squad.
But
Yeah,
I love that panel so much. Like, if that was a print,
yeah.
that's the print I'd
That
want,
is so
is
cool.
the beauty of the moon and
Yeah,
the laptop, and I just
the color.
laughed at her talking about her hacking into
Oh, to
uh
Tony
to
Stark's
Tony's
Wi-Fi,
Wi-Fi.
and she does it
Uh
for uploading
But she does it
photos.
to get the albums
So
of, like, her
I love it.
yeah.
What I do love is that just the really domestic nature. Like, we get the inside of Tigra, and
Yeah, I
just
think
her
we
parents.
miss that
Mm,
from so many comics,
mm,
that it's really nice to have the confidence to let an issue have some of that in.
mm.
Because I think a lot of the time writers are like, "No, we need to give the bang for the
Yeah,
buck and lots of action." And, like, we complain about it when there isn't a lot of action sometimes. But the way this story builds up, because Tigra's the focus, she can be more of a detective
yeah,
than some, like, Mark, we know, is a throw yourself at problems.
yes.
She can do the whole, like, check the board, do the Google search,
Hmm.
have the photos of the corpses, um, and then we get the Hawkeye team up. So you
Oh,
get a bit of
yeah,
action there.
yes. Which I must
Um,
shout out. Sorry, there, Rebecca. Mario did mention it in Facebook, and yeah, Mario just commenting, "Look at me, the little William doing his
Yeah,
handstands."
it was so cute. So
But
this is Blue Streak,
Blue
right?
Streak, yeah, I wanted to just throw this up there. I've got a little there. Blue Streak,
Oh, nice.
first appearance, Heroes for Hire, Volume 2, Issue 3 from, I can't read it because I've got the thing in the way. I think it's 2006 or 2004. So,
Yeah, we always love a
uh,
Heroes for Hire.
yeah, so pretty cool there. I also wanted, just while I've got it so I can put the slides away, another reference, apart from, Thunderbolts and Defenders and all that. So we get what is Sarnak. So they talk about the Master of Sound, the guy that was in the club.
Yeah.
This has been confirmed, and so shout out to Russell as well. He called it the moment that he revealed.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me, but well done, Russell.
Yeah, well done, Russell. First appearance, Werewolf by Night, number 9, back in 1973. So an old character, but yes, so that's
Very
been
nice.
doing well there. But yeah, you're right. Blue Streak here. The thing with Hawkeye is awesome. Again, a little bit of McKay humor. That the old Hawkeye no look shoot at Blue Streak gets him in the background.
Yeah, it was just great. But that whole conversation is great. Like, do you want to be a Thunderbolt? Because he's the leader.
Yes.
And then he's like, oh no, there was Defenders and no one called me.
Yeah. And if what were you doing in the Ronin suit, Clint?
Yeah. Right, yeah, exactly. Do you want to tell me what you're doing in the Ronin suit?
Yeah.
But they start off talking about her problem, which is like, why doesn't Mark want to go after Midnight Man?
Yes.
He's like one of your villains. So like.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this must baffle her, and again,
Like, I wonder if they do that. Going, no, this one's one of yours. You should be going after.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, then then they'll imagine how much they lump on Spider-Man. Then oh, he's one of yours,
yeah,
isn't he? But yeah, no, it is.
they're all yours.
Yeah. So what Jed MacKay has done, really, like he's really broken. What your typical comic book character and the discussions are, like he's really kind of brought another sort of realism to it, which I find is really kind of refreshing. As you're saying, they're discussing like who should be taking care of this, and they're discussing each other's, like Tigra's discussing Hawkeye's apparent misdemeanor as Ronin. So I like these conversation pieces that McKay does, all framed around, of course, some action too. Again, the artwork, and again, just coupled with Rachelle Rosenberg.
The colouring is.
Yeah.
I don't think these books would be anything like they are without the colouring we get.
Yes, I've never seen the city and backdrop so good. And again, Rebecca, I draw back to our comments on issue 1, where I was very
I know.
critical of the backgrounds, going, "Oh, they're a bit flat and they don't look that good." Like they're probably the best backdrops I've ever seen in a comic book.
They're really, really good. I mean, like, obviously 10, 15 years ago where everyone had a bit more time, there were some really great ones as well. Some like, even since. But like, these are just consistently great and colours you don't always get to see, and just really nice.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, Rebecca, we get, or in the synopsis, we get up to the point where Tigra catches up with Midnight Man. He doesn't have, like, it's just pretty much a generic suit. As opposed to what's on the cover. We see the more classic look on the cover, but it's just a dude in a black mask and a black suit. But of course, I love, again, Tigra's eyes. If we're talking about, there was a lot of talk about primal instinct from Jed MacKay. And you see her pupils really kind of enlarge when she gets angry, when she gets full of adrenaline. So I really love that little touch. But she's going at it for, and if I was Mark, I would be a little bit scared as well. I mean, let's not forget she's a werewoman. She might lose.
She's a good fighter.
Yeah, but she might succumb to that kind of instinct. I mean, he's fought Werewolf by Night. He should know like things can go pretty pear-shaped. But she controls herself well. And one of the main aspects here, I thought, for the whole issue was this final kind of conversation.
Yeah.
The second to last, penultimate. I was surprised. Yeah, I mean, like how hurt. I mean, not surprised, but just in visually, like that's the shot there of Tigra crying just behind Mark, away from him
Yeah,
seeing.
she's really, really upset.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for him, it doesn't seem that much.
I mean, I'm glad Mark's paying recent soldier,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
you know.
It's typical. He's
But I wonder how
yeah,
many people he has been like, when he says, "I've ripped off gangsters, robbed the Magyar
yeah,
gangs and Hydra," like, okay, Mark, like,
yeah.
how much were you paying them? Like, 'cause some of these, baddies should have a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and he's put a target on his back. Although, as been not man,
Yeah,
he could just disappear, and that's that.
yeah,
But yeah, she's really he misses the point again. Which he's looking at it from a practical point of view. He's had to do this because
yeah.
financially he's had to recoup what he can, but he
And it's
doesn't.
not like she cares, she only cares that he's lied to her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's a point I think that he kind of misses,
That is the point. I mean,
and
whether she cares or not in a wider issue is
mm,
it's almost separate because right now it's literally just that he didn't tell her.
yeah, I wonder how it would pan out, Rebecca, if he did confide in her and say, "Look, I'm doing this." Like the conversation at the beginning of the
Yeah, and
issue,
I
and
mean, who
go,
knows?
yeah, would she talk him out of it, or maybe she could assist. She herself is struggling, but maybe assist with his finances, possibly through her connections with the Avengers. We don't know, but yeah, he chooses not to trust her with this, and symptomatic of Mark. He goes it on his own and tries to do it, and
Yeah.
in doing that, he alienates himself. A really fantastic shot again of like almost a pleading Tigra. A second last panel there on the page.
Yeah.
I have your back. She did so many things. Like she listed out as well. She even
Yeah.
flipped on the Avengers for him. Like she's done so much, yet he couldn't trust her with this one little moment.
Yeah, so we should get back that the people that are being killed were
Yes, sorry,
people whose parents were the committee,
that's right. Yes, and again
and they used to go after Jack Russell. So
yes,
there's your
the ding ding
crazy
ding.
animal.
Yes,
Yeah.
was a Jack Russell. So there's a connection there, and that kind of makes sense as to why they're the targets for Mark. Because yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good reveal as well. And again, I liked how Jed has tied it in. Like the committee hasn't been used. He has used them before, hasn't he? In the run, he's
Yeah. I
mentioned them.
think we known check them, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so really cool. I love it how it ties in.
But it's interesting here, I guess, that when heroes have a disagreement, there's often a fight.
Mm,
And we have a verbal fight. Because he needs
yes.
to know just how much he's hurt her emotionally. And it feels as action packed as some of the swinging from rooftops.
Yeah.
Because, it is a big deal.
Oh, it is, and he would.
Even if Mark says it isn't.
Yeah, well, he he's look here, some beautiful panels here, just all horizontal, just to
Yeah.
give you that wide scope for two of them.
The widescreen view of it all,
Yeah,
yeah.
widescreen, but Tiger's expressions by Cappuccio, just fantastic. Even like the last one as well.
Yeah, I love the last one.
And that's where she points out that even we're chilling, you're coming over to my place, and you still wear your mask in front of my with my kid. You know
Yeah.
how kind of distrustful must that feel? Like for someone she considers him a close friend, if not more.
Yeah.
Yet he does that. Like it's so kind of blind, I think, of Mark to not know these cues and these like social cues. But he's um, yeah. So what I was going to mention, Rebecca, was towards here, like that one word of yes towards at the end where Tiger jumps off. Do you have any idea how hard you make it to be your
Yeah. Oh,
friend?
so
It
beautiful.
is, yeah. He does. He just a simple little yes,
I
and
mean, and that's been a thread throughout this run as well. Is like when he
mm,
started off going, "Yeah, they're all dead or they hate
yeah,
me." And when he pushes, like we know that he does know how many friendships he's
yeah,
ruined or lost.
yeah,
Um, and this is like a huge one for him.
yeah. And it's not like it's not as easy as you being aware of your shortcomings and you being able to fix
No,
it. He
because
can't. He doesn't.
you can't necessarily fix it. Yeah.
Yeah, or it will take a lot of time to actually work through it.
Mhm.
But so it's kind of torture, I think, for Mark. He knows how bad a person he is, and that probably just eats him up and gives him even that more guilt. But he falls into these traps of
Yeah.
he's schemers of doing this to protect them by pushing them away, that kind of thing. So yeah, so very very cool little moment there. Uh, and this is, I always kind of look forward to this, Rebecca, because it's towards the end of the issue.
Yeah.
The writer is setting you up for a big reveal. And,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
last panel there, so she's with William. They're back at the apartment, and William thinks it's pizza. She goes, no,
Yeah,
no.
but can we just say the supervillain drill is run out the
Yeah,
window and
yes.
go to the midnight mission. So she still trusts him that
Mm,
William would be safe there.
she knows it.
I mean,
Yeah,
admittedly, this is immediate, but she hasn't said. She does say yes, that's
yeah.
still the plan.
Yep.
So
Push comes to shove, she will trust Mark with little William, so that's really cool. But yeah, I was riding the wave here, Rebecca. You probably were guessing what was
we
happening.
knew what was happening. Yeah.
I was going, okay, who's going to be at the door? And yeah, we get
No,
Mark
I was like, kiss her, kiss her, kiss her.
at this stage, a few
Mm.
3 or 4 pages out. But
Yeah.
yeah, really nice moment here. You just see Mark, even the ties loosened. He's kind of taking that stick
And
out of
this is important that
yeah.
it's Mark, not Stephen, as well.
Yes, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
even though it's the suit and he's not in the full, I mean, he's still in the Mr. Knight suit, but not in the full.
Mm,
Like, it's important that Mark deals with Mark's mess.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um.
And you get a bit of an inner monologue of Tigra's thoughts. The sensible person would say you're
Yeah.
crazy to deal with this guy. Um, but it just leads up to the big kiss, which is great. I mean, I love both of these characters, and I'm
Yeah.
so glad that Jed's brought Tigra back and actually done her justice. I can't wait to read. Um,
So much justice.
mm,
Yeah. I mean, and I love how shocked his face is in that
yeah,
first panel,
yeah.
and then how soft it is in the second
Yeah,
panel.
yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to read. I've got to touch base with World of Tigra on Twitter and see if
Oh, yeah. I
they
hope they enjoyed
enjoy.
it. I really
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Because I think she's done. Well, I think Jed MacKay's done a really good job with it,
So do
and a great little way to end it as well. She's.
I.
I love Tigra. A bit of a cheeky comment at the end. Yeah, Mark's
I
here.
love it.
I think he's my boyfriend now. Right, right in front of Mark.
I love that William says gross.
Yeah. Um, so I just I can't fault this issue. I think it was just really enjoyable. Um,
I really loved it. It's something so that we just don't have time for in many runs these
yeah,
days. Like that we used to a lot more and then we didn't, and now it feels like they help make the stories feel more real when you have like a slight breathing space or
hmm
time to develop that emotional, like what changes between them that makes them
hmm
boyfriend girlfriend, like what when does that happen,
yeah,
and you can clearly see it here is that they needed to have that.
yeah. I'm very
Like
interested.
Mark needed a kick in the
Yeah,
butt.
he did. Well, it's just sometimes people aren't that perceptive, and definitely Mark is
No, it's
lacking
just
in that.
like,
Yeah.
it's very weird when friendships change,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah, but I'd be very interested to hear. Like I love hearing from all the loonies, but um, is this your sort of issue? Because I know a lot of Moon Knight fans
Yeah,
love
I'm
them.
fascinated because I know it's very me, but, like,
Mm,
that usually means to me that it's not
but
everyone else's cup of tea.
but McKay does it. He does a great way. He does it really well to balance. I think both. You get that. You get the real kind of dirt under the fingernails, like
I hope so,
Zodiac.
yeah.
But yeah, he gets these tender kind of real good moments. So I'd be really interested to hear other loonies out there as well. We do have some feedback, Rebecca, but what did you think of it? Because it is, if you really love, say, your Houston run or your Ellis run, this is a step back, and it is very Tigra centric. But like I said, Tigra has so much history with Mark and Moon Knight, and she's been introduced early in this run. It's good to see like things kind of evolving. Um, so with that said, Rebecca, what would you give this?
I gave it a whopping 9. My first
Nice.
real
It's a full
kick butt
moon.
one for a while. Yeah.
Full moon from Konishi's rating system. I went the 8. I mean, that's the big, beautiful yellow man. I really enjoyed it. I thought it just really ticked the box. It was not what I was expecting. I guess I didn't know what I was going to expect, Rebecca, from that cover.
Mm.
Didn't read any of the previews or anything like that. So really, really fun stuff. We do have a little bit of feedback, Rebecca. A couple of them, one of them at least, not specifically related to it. Can I do the short ones? Do you want to take on Mario's? Or I can do,
Yeah, sure.
okay.
Yeah, no, do it.
So on the Facebook page, a big shout out to Blake Buxton. I gave Blake a shout out last episode as well. Blake writes in, always ready for a new issue of Moon Knight. Hard to believe it's been close to 2 years now, and that it's been back on the monthly beat, consistently in the top 10 for the week as well. Love it. Yeah, Blake, absolutely. It seems to be doing very well. Look, we've got issue 23 coming out. Potentially at least 24, right, Rebecca? From what we've heard.
Yeah.
So hopefully, it'd be lovely if we can make that magic half century.
No, we've seen a clip of 26.
26. Okay.
We know we're going to 26.
Okay, 26.
Somebody posted it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Whoever the artist is either of the cover or inside, it's not Cappuccio, posted and it's got a little cat. It's on our Facebook page.
Oh, okay. Well, fantastic. Well, hopefully we go beyond that as well. Let's go for the half century. I think Mario and I, Rebecca, I think we put down like at least 30 issues was our prediction.
You were good. I like that.
So hopefully we'll get there. And also a small one from the Facebook page, Suk Purwell. And they mention on the front cover, I think as mentioned, Rebecca, is that Tigra? If so, where are her stripes? Which is absolutely a good pickup. I didn't actually really notice.
I think we mentioned it when we were previewing the cover a while back.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
no,
I mean,
it's a mistake.
Check out the inside, Suk, of the of the issue. Plenty of cool Tigra there.
At least they were inside ones. And now Mario. Moon Knight is one of the few comics that I always look forward to reading, and this issue is no exception. Jed uses the story of the third Midnight Man to answer a question none of us even thought to ask, and gives Greer the best spotlight she's had in years. Her son William is a fun addition to the cast. We need a play date with him and Beatrice. I agree.
Yep.
We also get a bit of movement on the whole brainwashing plot, and even a guest shot from Hawkeye, not to mention the first appearance of Mark Spector in Civvies. True.
Oh.
He may not have Jake's knack for making friends, but he has excellent taste in movies. If I had any real quibbles, it's that Greer's decision at the end was a bit abrupt, so I have to take off a half star for that. So let's call it 9.5 out of 10.
Nice one, Mario. Fantastic. What was the Rebecca Greer's decision at the end? What was that?
To kiss him. I personally think that's explained enough by her saying, I'm acting on it instinct.
Yeah, I thought that was set up okay, but yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure.
And she's horny for Mark.
Yep. There you go. There's no other way to say it, Rebecca.
There's no easier way to say it.
There's no easier way to say it.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so that's cool.
That's cool. So thank you, Mario. Thank you, Blake, and thank you, Suk, as well for all your comments. Again, it's not
everyone else get more comments in
exactly.
Come on,
it's not over yet. Come on, it's
these are exciting soap opera issues.
Yeah. I want to hear you on Discord, in our social media platforms, Facebook and Twitter. Let's get the discussion going. It's still up there, the discussion thread. Let us know what you think about this issue. Are you more interested in what's coming up ahead? We saw that preview there with Venom and Moon Knight in issue 23. Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear from everyone.
I'm very worried about that.
Sorry?
I'm very worried about that.
I
don't like Venom at all.
Yeah, well, isn't he good these days? I don't know what's.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. We'll have to see. Hopefully, I'm interested to see how this goes about, like how it comes about. So we'll stay tuned. We'll be here next month. Rebecca, I think that pretty much wraps us this time round. It's always been a pleasure to chat.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to jump on Discord now. I'll be able to read all your posts now on Discord. So I've read the issue.
Yeah, you can go see everyone else's
As
reactions
everyone
to it.
says as well, yeah. So thanks everyone for contributing as well. Next phase, episode 327. Just keep your eyes out up in the sky, whatever the moon phase is there. That will determine what our episode is next. As well as, a huge thank you once again to our patroonies. Thank you to Odin, Frank, Daniel, Mario, Justin, Derek, Wayne, Josh, Anthony, Russell, Michael, Drew, Matthew, Jonathan, and Dan. Thank you so much. And if you want to become a Patreon member, please check out patreon.com/ITK Moon Knight. Remember, you get at least you get a bonus episode every month, as well as other things, non-new comic book related. There are videos banding about for all the other episodes that generally aren't released as videos. Two, Rebecca, no sign of Ozzy today.
I mean, if I could move the camera, it would be very funny because he is hiding under my duvet.
I love
And
that.
all you can see is a paw sticking out, two paws sticking out
There was a
today.
post.
So like, I know exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exactly like that post, but this time there's 2 feet sticking out. So I know exactly where he is.
Okay.
But no, I'm not going to disturb him because
He's
then
not gonna.
I'll have him plastered me. No, we're doing it a weird time of day for him.
True.
This is nap time.
True. Well, hopefully we'll see Ozzy. I've got actually the two boys up here as well. Flips under the table. Mace is on the couch up there. Not interested at all.
Not interested.
Yeah,
They
but
just they have no romance in their bones.
no romance.
They want action.
Exactly. The amount of times they fight. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so yes, a big thank you to all the patrons, as well as again Odin Sword, Frank the Think Tank, Daniel Doing from Fridge Night, and Drew Toombs. And CLZ Comics, check them out at collectors.com, and Dreamland Comics. Use the code MOON and get 20% off their store. Finally, you can contact us on email. I don't think anyone uses email these days. Feedback at itkmoonnight.com. Our website's still going, itkmoonnight.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube as well. The handle there is itkmoonnight. And I think finally we're part of the collective. Rebecca, are there any other recordings that you've done that you'd like to share or upcoming?
We did Batman Hush on
Oh,
DCAU podcast with
okay.
Connor as a guest.
Oh, wow.
Fairly recently, but no, I've been really off
Yes,
the
been there.
cards generally.
Off the grid. You've
Yeah.
been ghosting. Yes.
No, I just feel like I've literally disappeared and suddenly re-emerged this week, and that's why it's nice to do things like this.
Yeah, it's always fun. Oh, yeah, it's been way too long, Rebecca. But
Yeah.
but, I mean, appreciate. I know that you're busy and everything, but I always look forward to this as well.
Yeah.
Then I'll just shout out for the collective Inner Demons, a Ghost Rider podcast, and I Am Your Target Demographic. They're on YouTube. Go check them out. They just recently did a review of Super Mario Brothers. Rebecca, I watched that. I
Cool.
enjoyed that. Critically panned, but what do they call it? A crowd pleaser.
Crowd pleasing. Well, I've not seen it, so
It's a lot of fun.
I never played a Mario either.
Ah,
So
didn't you?
I know I horrify people every time I say that, but I've never played a Mario game, so
Ah.
it's not as much of a pull for me.
Well, I was more of a
Um,
Nintendo than Sega, so yeah, that was my.
I didn't play either,
Ah,
like really. So we had no money,
yeah,
and when they came out, and then it was all too overwhelming,
yeah. Oh, it
and
is overwhelming.
I was playing all the other role-playing games and stuff. I'm
Nice.
terrible at platformers anyway. So, I will watch it eventually, but it's not the same kind like when you have no
Yeah.
connection with the character. Like, I think the only thing I've seen is the previous Mario movie.
Oh,
So,
with Bob Hoskins. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, so no diss to Mario.
I
It's
know.
just not
No,
been
fair
top
enough.
of my list of things to go see.
Look,
Dungeons and Dragons was very fun though.
I'm going to be watching that next Tuesday. I cannot wait, and I don't even play. I have no idea what I'm watching, but it'll be fun. Like it looks
Yeah.
really good. Uh, listeners, thank you so much for joining us. As always, just keep on reading great stuff. Keep on reading Moon Knight, watching it, doing whatever.
Yes.
And as always, may Khonshu watch over the denizens of the night. Catch you later.
Bye.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.
Hello, I'm Alan,
I'm Rebecca.
and if you're listening to this, then we recommend that you check out our podcast, the DCAU Podcast, where we watch the original DC animated movies, starting from Batman Mask of the Phantasm and continuing on to Justice League Dark, Apocalypse War, and beyond. And we will cover such heroes as Batman,
Superman,
the Batman,
Wonder Woman,
Victorian Steampunk Batman,
The Flash,
Batman Beyond,
Green Lantern,
Old Man Batman,
Martian Manhunter.
and plenty more versions of Batman.
Lots and lots and lots of Batman.
You can find the DCAU podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else that you can get podcasts by looking up the DCAU podcast and subscribe today.